Hello everyone, back into today's first video, doing the ECMWF 30-day look ahead for today's first video. So we're going to have a look at temperature and precipitation anomalies for the next 4 weeks for the UK and for Europe more widely as well. Can't show you mean sea level pressure anomaly or 500 millibar heights, but you can get a rough idea of what model is forecasting from its temperature and precipitation anomalies. So that's what we're going to do for the first video. Second video update coming up later on this afternoon will be the regular week to 10-day video update, about to have all of the usual features at the Hungarian Met Office this one, so big thank you to them for supplying us with the charts. So this would be week 1 temperature anomaly for the UK and the rest of Europe, week 13 for the year, but week 1 for our forecast period. It takes us from the 23rd to the 29th of March. Actually looks like quite a cold week actually across many parts of Europe, so we haven't seen this for a very long time. Below average temperature anomalies in many areas. We've still got Scandinavia, Baltic Sea areas and the west of Russia with above average temperature anomalies, but the rest of Europe has below average, even quite significantly below average temperature anomalies, particularly from Italy over the Adriatic into the Balkans. We've got temperature anomalies there of around 3 to 6 degrees below average. Actually, I think on the scale that's probably 6 to 10 below average. So very significantly below average through Italy and into the Balkans. Otherwise, we've got the rest of the Mediterranean somewhere around 1 to 3 degrees below average. I mean, going further northwards into western parts of Europe, you can see that, for example, got Germany, France, which are the low countries, again around 1 to 3 degrees below average. UK is again cold and average also. Northern parts of UK and Ireland close to average, but England and Wales actually going down to around 1 to 3 degrees below average through those areas. So this area just here, Italy and Balkans, that would be on the scale 3 to 6 degrees below average, I think. So yes, it's a cold average week for many parts of Europe, warmer in the far north and down this eastern side. And temperature, precipitation wise, I should say, also looking quite dry really through many areas. So high pressure is in control, and that's what's bringing the colder than average conditions. We haven't got much of a Med looking wet. So from eastern parts of Spain going through to southeastern corner, particularly around Greece, it's significantly wetter than average there. The central bowl of the Med, though, does look drier than average. Italy is wetter than average across southern areas and drier than average further north. It's also wetter than average across Norway into the far north of Scotland. Otherwise, though, those are the exceptions. Otherwise, most parts of Europe are looking really quite significantly drier than average. So we've got much of the UK and Ireland drier than average, many parts of France, below countries, also Germany, Poland, over to Ukraine and into west of Russia and down to the Black Sea, generally on the drier than average side through those areas. So it does look as though high pressure is in control of the weather through much of particularly central northern Europe this week, and that's going to be delivering those colder than average temperature anomalies, of course. Then we go through to week 2. Which is week 14 for the year, and again a very significantly below average week coming up. This is from the 30th of March to the 5th of April. Particularly cold across western parts of Europe. So again, we've got to Germany, France, the Low Countries down into Spain and Portugal. That swathe of darker blue colours just there, around 3 to 6 degrees below average in those areas. The rest of northern, western and even central Europe is around 1 to 3 degrees below average. That does include the UK and Ireland in that as well. The extreme east and southeast of Europe is still holding on to the milder average temperature anomaly. So around the Black Sea, going down towards parts of Greece, and then particularly kind of like eastern Ukraine up to west of Russia. There, we still have those above average temperature anomalies going on, around 3 to 6 degrees above average. But generally, though, this is a cold week coming up once again from the 30th of March to the 5th of April, significantly below average temperature, particularly across the west of Europe. Precipitation-wise through this week, 30th of March to 5th of April, looks wetter than average through much of the Med. So we've got Spain, parts of Portugal, then into the central bowl of the Med, including holiday islands like the Balearic Islands and also Malta, Corsica and Sardinia, all coming out wetter than average. And then we've also got Italy looking wetter than average as well, around the Adriatic and into the Adriatic coastal areas of the Balkans, wetter than average conditions through here. Above average precipitation also through parts of Greece and Turkey, although less so than other parts of the Med. Going further northwards, dry than average conditions continue from much of France into Belgium, Holland, western parts of Germany, Denmark, southern Sweden and Norway, and then UK and Ireland also dry than average, particularly dry across western parts of the UK. So it looks like there's probably some sort of ridge sitting in middle of the Atlantic, mid-Atlantic ridge, and I would have thought that's likely to be pulling down northerly winds, so that explains, of course, the colder than average temperatures. The jet stream may be pushing through the Med as well. So the jet stream could be doing something a little bit like that, rising up around the ridge and then going through the Med, and that's taking the low pressure system down through the Med, which is why it will be wetter than average. And eastern, central east parts of Europe near normal with precipitation through those areas. Moving on to week 3, which is going to be week 15 for 2020, taking us from the 6th through to the 12th of April, so going up towards Easter now. We're starting to lose those cold and average temperatures. It's still a bit on the chilly side, though, across this western side of Europe. So we're talking about average to possibly slightly below average through parts of Ireland, western France, those sort of areas. Just hint maybe it being a little bit cooler. Otherwise, there's a lot of white going on. White is no signal, or it's average or no signal. I expect through many of these central areas, we're probably talking about no signal. Going further northwards, it does look a little bit warmer than average across, again, Baltic Sea areas and into the west of Russia. Mediterranean, so overall very close to average or no signal with temperatures there. Precipitation-wise, the signals are also weakening away. So it looks like it could be a little bit above average with precipitation across some of these northern parts of Europe, maybe also down towards southern Spain and northern Africa. Hints of being still a little bit drier than average to the west of Ireland, so probably still some sort of mid-Atlantic ridge through there. But otherwise, there isn't really a great deal to go on precipitation-wise this week. And then we move through to week 4, week 16. For the year, it's the 13th to the 19th of April, becoming warmer on the eastern and northeastern side of Europe. Yet again, temperature anomalies going up to 1 to 3 degrees above average quite widely across the east of Europe. Western parts of Europe, including Norway, UK, Ireland, France, Spain, Portugal, hinting at being close to average or having no signal. It is still a bit below average with temperature anomaly to the west of Ireland in the Atlantic Ocean. So the coolest weather, it's not particularly cold at this point with the temperature anomaly, but certainly the coolest weather is on the western side of Europe. Many eastern parts of Europe looking warmer through the Mediterranean. Finally, it's generally a little bit warmer than average, especially through this central bowl of the Med. Precipitation-wise, looking more unsettled in the north and west of Europe here. So going into the second half of April on a rather unsettled note, above average precipitation through southern parts of Scandinavia and then down into France, Belgium, Holland, UK. Hints at being a little bit wetter than average, so quite an unsettled sort of middle part to April, if that's right. The far east and southeast of Europe possibly hinting at being a little bit drier than average. It's interesting that the precipitation anomaly is stronger for week 4 than it is for week 3, which is quite unusual. That doesn't happen very often, and yeah, that's quite unusual. That week 4 precipitation is a stronger signal than week 3. Overall, this looks like quite a coldish sort of week, couple of weeks coming up across many parts of Europe. A big change on what we've had over the past few months, and quite widespread below average temperature anomalies on the way for the next couple of weeks, and then possibly a little bit of a recovery taking place as we go further on into April. Precipitation varying from week to week and area to area. It's interesting, though, that we finish up with a stronger signal in week 4 for things to be quite wet in the north and west of Europe compared to week 3. So it possibly implies as April goes along, it could be getting more unsettled again. We shall see. Right, so that's it for this week's ECMWF 30 Day Look Ahead. We shall be back later on with your week to 10 day view update, including all of usual features. Come back then. That's all for now, though, and thanks for watching.